No light? It's okay? Okay. If I move, you'll probably find this being dragged behind me. I'll completely forget about it. Okay. Morning, everybody. Sunday and Nelson. What are we going to do? I thought we'd start with a meditation, breathing meditation, just to calm the mind. And then a short break. And then we're going to have a forgiveness meditation. So I think calming the mind is really important because all week, so busy, isn't it? Whether you're busy with home, family, busy with work, worrying about the environment, or whatever it is that is on our minds, we have to find a holiday, a break. We need a break from all those worries and concerns. So meditation gives you the ability to be able to switch off. Not switch off completely. Doesn't mean no thoughts, but it means not constantly dwelling on the worrying thoughts, not constantly dwelling on the irritable thoughts or the angry thoughts or the desire thoughts. Having the ability to bring the mind back to peace. So, 15 minutes is okay. They won't die. You can manage 15 minutes? Probably after 5, if I see you going like this, I'll know it's too long. What? You shuffle? I'm sure she's a very good meditator. She looks like a concentrated being. Don't you? You look like somebody who could really sit and be a good meditator. Yeah? So let's see. Okay. So what we do is we check our posture. Are you sitting comfortably? If you're not, there's extra cushions. So take an extra cushion. The main thing is if you're sitting on the floor, you need to lift your bum above your knees. In New Zealand, is bum a rude word? That's okay then. So you need to lift yourself up because if your knees are higher than your bum, what happens is the blood supply doesn't flow and then it gets uncomfortable. If you're sitting on the chairs, then you need to have your feet on the ground or on a cushion. So you just check that you're comfortable. Oh, there's a gang out there. I think a tour bus. Mistook this for a famous Hollywood actor or something. Yeah. They thought it's Bruce Willis who's teaching today. Or Arnie. Yeah. Well, we do look similar. It's the body, I think. Eh? Oh, that's it too. Oh, that would be somebody else. Who would that be? Jen, I think you have to go and deal with this. Okay. So first, you've got to adjust your posture. Second, you're going to adjust your mind. So why are we doing meditation? In order to benefit ourselves. But it's not enough. If I'm only benefiting myself, it's a limited motivation. So then thinking about benefiting myself in order to benefit my family, my friends, and then all living beings. So adjust your motivation. Then the next thing is meditating on the basis of that motivation. So if you're thinking that you're doing it on behalf of your family, your friends, you're not going to give up. So after a few minutes, you don't look at your clock and think, oh, it's enough. Because I'm not just doing it for me, I'm doing it for them. Then take 3 deep breaths through your nostrils. Breathe all the way down into the abdomen. You can think breathing in peace, breathing out thoughts. Do that 3 times. Breathing in peace and breathing out thoughts. And then placing all your awareness on the sensation of the breath. As you're breathing in and out through the nostrils, anything else is a distraction. So the object of your concentration is the sensation of the breath. Breathing all the way down into the abdomen. Always returning to the sensation of the breath. concentrating on the sensation of the breath. When your mind gets distracted, gently, patiently, coming back to the breath. Breathing all the way down into the abdomen. Just 5 more minutes, placing all your awareness on the sensation of the breath. breathing through the nostrils all the way down into the abdomen. Two more minutes. And slowly bring your awareness back to the room we're sitting in, the cushion or the seat you're sitting on, the meditation we've just been doing. In your own time, please finish your meditation. You could do it. You didn't even eat your biscuit in the whole time. Look at that mind control. Must have got it from my mother. Yeah? Or a dad. So that's breathing meditation. Any problems? Sounds easy, but in practice not so easy, is it? You start and then so many thoughts come. Some strange fly. I think at some point it landed on my head. Probably thought this is a good landing place. Good place to watch all the people. So flies come. When I was doing a retreat in India, I moved into a house to do a long retreat, and then they decided to put a garbage bin opposite the house, but one of these huge garbage bins, and then people were throwing wet rubbish in the garbage bin. There were lids on the garbage bin, and then the monkeys would come and open the lids and go into the garbage bin and throw the garbage all over the place. So actually the garbage bin didn't function. You might as well just throw your rubbish on the ground, save the monkeys the throwing it everywhere. Because of that, the flies came. So these big blue blowflies came and were breeding in that garbage bin opposite my house, and where I was the only house. And above me were cows. So they were probably contributing to the flies. So then I started retreat, and the owner was Hindu, and he'd done a puja while I was away. So I'd gone to Delhi to sort out my visa, come back, and the house was full of these big blue blowflies. So I thought, oh, I can manage, I can sort of run in this room, close the door, and it should be okay. So I'd sit there, and then these flies would go in my ear, sort of tunneling, and then up the nose, around the mouth. And I thought, no, I can't do this. This is too difficult. And then used to get a towel. So I open the front door, get a towel, and sort of try and chase them out the door. So just even one fly, one noise can completely distract you, can completely take your mind away. And then you're gone for a little while on some interesting subject somewhere else, and then you come back. So this is quite common. It's not just you, it's everybody has this problem, that we haven't got control over our mind. We have control over the TV because there's a remote, and there's a control over the AC, and we've got all these remotes, but there's no remote for the mind. So in Buddhism, we give teachings because the teachings point the mind in the positive direction, but also we teach meditation because meditation is controlling your mind. It's not me controlling you, it's you controlling yourself. So I think this is important because in our Western society we have such a rush. We're rushing here and rushing there, everything's rush, rush, rush. We don't spend 15 minutes just sitting. And now the scientists agree that we need 15 minutes of peace every day for mental health. So is it possible to take that 15 minutes first thing in the morning to sit down, not think about the plan for the day, what you're doing, where you're going, how you're doing it, but just to sit for 15 minutes with concentration? Of course, in the beginning it's going to be difficult because the mind wants to keep going off. That's the habit of going off. But then gently, patiently, you keep bringing it back. So you've got to think your mind is like a 2-year-old child. If you go walking with a 2-year-old child, the child wants to go running away. And you have to say, no, come back here, come back here. So that's the process. The training is just come back here, instead of going off onto all these much more interesting thoughts. So do you have any questions about meditation? Any problems? Okay, you can all go now. That was a great morning. Thank you all for making the effort. Goodbye. 40 minutes drive. You got 25 minutes. You have a problem? Oh. Posture. Posture's a problem, isn't it? Do you normally sit on the floor? No. In a chair. So the main thing about sitting in a chair is when you're doing meditation to have a straight back. If you slump, then the energies, the winds, don't move and they get blocked. And so then what happens is it affects your concentration. So it doesn't really matter whether you're sitting on the floor or whether you're sitting in a chair. The main thing is you've got a straight back, but not overly straight. We're not in the army, but just straight so that the energies are going to move. And you'll feel the difference in your meditation. Lama Yeshe used to say, there's a difference in the shoulders. That, if you sit like this, it's like you've given up. So you've got to check your shoulders. And are your shoulders not way back, but are your shoulders up and confident about what you're doing? And then is your back straight, but not overly straight? Are your legs comfortable, but not in a posture that after 5 minutes you're going to think, oh, this is a nightmare? I remember when I started meditating, I started in Kopan on a 1-month course. And you think, oh, it should be okay. But after a few minutes, you think this is a nightmare. My knees, my ankles, my back, and there's going to be a month of this. This is like a month of a nightmare. So I understand how in the beginning it can seem like some sort of ridiculous proposition, that we just sit for 15 minutes without pain, without problems. Of course, in the beginning, there's going to be pain and problems because the mind is rebelling. The mind is saying to you, you need to stop this. We're not used to doing this. We're used to the mind going all over the place, being free. And now you're saying, concentrate. And so there's some sort of rebellion that goes on. And it's the rebellion of the ego. It's the ego saying, I'm in control, and you're not going to do this. And then you're saying to it, I'm in control, we are going to do this. And so you start to feel like you're a schizophrenic. Like before I was sane and normal before meditation, and now there's 2 voices going on or 3 voices going on, and it's meditation driving me crazy. It's not like that. It's just that we haven't paid attention before to this negative ego that stops us from doing something positive to gain control. It's just that ego. And ego is very tricky, because when we have that negative ego, we sit, and after 2 or 3 minutes, it says, you'd be better off having a cup of coffee. And oh, why not? And so you go and make a cup of coffee. And then you sit back down. And you say, but where's the biscuits? Oh, that's right. Essential, isn't it? For meditation, essential. Should have got the biscuits. So you go and do that. And so this distraction, this discursive thought goes on and on and on and stops you from concentration. So in your work, you need concentration. In relationships, you need concentration. In all facets of life, we need concentration, but we don't develop concentration because this is the situation to develop it. On the cushion, where you keep bringing your mind back, no matter what the distraction, you keep bringing your mind back to the object that you've decided, like that. So sitting posture, main thing is the back. Don't worry so much about the legs. The hands, in Buddhism, this school of Buddhism, we put the left and the right together and the thumbs, and we put it around the navel area. And this is interesting because the left side of the body represents female. The right side represents male. So when you put the hands like that, then what you're doing is connecting the 2 energies. You bring the energies together to find a balance. Then you put the thumbs together, and it's like it provides a focus for the energy to go around the navel area. I often say, when you're falling asleep, your thumbs fall. I don't think Buddha said this, but I say it. Because, if you've got your hands like this, and by the way, if you find that it's uncomfortable to put your hands like this, not down, way down, but actually around the navel, you can put something like a cushion and put your hands on a cushion. Because it's important to get the energy in this area, the navel area. So when the thumbs start to fall, you wake up. So I don't know if you experience it, but some people have a sinking in meditation. Their mind seems to go down and they feel sleepy. They're the people who have the thumbs dropping. So it reminds you to stay awake. Then the other thing is to keep the eyes half open. So this is a difficult one. Eyes half open. I don't know which way is better for you, but if you start with your eyes open and you gradually lower them down to the nose, and as if you were looking at the place in front of you, but you can't describe what's in front of you, you're just getting light coming into the mind. This is very helpful for meditation, because if you close your eyes, it says go to sleep. Right? That's what we do. Have a nap. So you close your eyes and you go into some sort of nap, and then you think, oh, this meditation business is really good. I must do more of this. Isn't it? Oh, I should do this 5 times a day. So what it's teaching you is dullness, is the mind to become dull because you're going into that heavy, sleepy feel. Yeah? Then the other thing is agitation, where the mind's sort of like that. In between the two is the middle way. We're looking for the middle way. Not easy to find in the beginning. So if you can, eyes half open. If you're at home, you can face the wall. So if you're sitting on your bed doing meditation, or you're sitting in a chair and there's a blank wall, face the wall and keep your eyes open. That'll keep the light coming in, but there's nothing to focus on. Okay? And then gradually lower your eyelids so that you've still got light coming in, but it's not distracting. You know, if your eyes are fully open in this room, you'll be looking around thinking, who's she? What's that? Gosh, they've got a lot of stuff in here, you know? And so it'll keep you busy. So it doesn't help. But at home, if you haven't got this half eyes open thing, gradually persuade yourself into it by keeping your eyes open and then just relaxing. You relax your eyes until half open. What else can I tell you? Check your shoulders. I think really important in the West. Also Asia, you know, India is becoming like any other country now, where everybody's rushing here, rushing there, long hours, tension and stress. So what happens is your shoulders go up as you stress yourself. So your shoulders go up more and more, and then you're holding stress in this area. So I think what's important is to lift your shoulders and then drop them. So you can breathe in while you lift your shoulders, and when you breathe out, drop your shoulders. And if you do that at the beginning of meditation, it shows you what relaxed is. Okay? So the shoulders are important. The back is important because of the energies moving gently. The hands in the lap. By the way, the other thing is, a lot of people do yoga and they put their hands on their knees this way. The problem with meditation is that if you do that, it brings your elbows in, and in meditation you can get very hot. So if your elbows are in, you can tend to sweat and get very hot under the arms. So another reason for putting your hands in your lap is to give air here so that we're not getting too hot. It doesn't matter if it's 5 or 10 minutes, but if you're going to do more meditation in the future, it starts to matter because you generate heat. Okay, anything you want to ask? Yeah. I find it really, really difficult to fix my failure, like you were saying. Yeah. Like about 30 seconds. Yeah. Yeah. Is it my time of life worth pursuing it, or is it better for me just to stay on a chair and concentrate on the meditation part? Your time of life, I'm guessing 85, 90. Even I've known people in their 70s, 75, 80 come to Kopan and be able to sit. I think for some people it's just somehow their body rebels against it. One thing is, don't do that with your legs. Don't cross your legs, because you put pressure on both legs. The way I sit is that one leg's like this and one leg's in front. And so you're sitting flat, but one leg is in front of the other. Not like that. Yeah? I mean, the ideal is full lotus, but give me a break. She can do full lotus? Oh, it's sickening. Don't even show me. Hide it under the blanket. Yeah? For us normal people, trying to deal with our bodies, it's difficult, right? So when I first started in Kopan, one lady was showing us some exercises, and she said, this will help you. Men have a particular problem with thigh muscles. So these muscles are very difficult to stretch. So men tend to find it takes longer for them to be able to sit on the floor. But she said it takes about 6 months to be able to sit cross-legged. I think, we tend to think within a day or a few days, and then I'll be able to do it. 6 months. Don't do that. Put one foot, one leg flat, and then, like I said, the thing is about getting the cushions so that your bum is up, and then the energy is going down into the legs rather than the legs higher and the energy coming back this way. And then you lose sensation in the legs, and then it becomes very difficult. Yeah? So try. Yeah. Give it a go. Maybe after we can down there we can check you. We'll have a sitting checking class. Yeah? If you can't see what I'm talking about, we can see down there. Yes. Yes. On the breath. You're focusing here, the sensation of the breath, which is very subtle. It's difficult, right? It's not a gross object. Gross object would be if you're counting the breath. This is something more discernible. But focusing on the sensation of the breath is more difficult. So it means you have to sharpen your awareness. So in the beginning, perhaps it's too difficult to meditate on the sensation of the breath. If it's too difficult, if you find the thoughts are coming too strongly, start with counting the breath. So you count 1 on the out breath. You breathe in, breathe out, count 2. As soon as a thought comes, you stop counting, you go back to 1. So that could be a good way to start if your mind's busy. Once your mind's calmed down, you drop the counting, you go back to the sensation of the breath. So this is one object. Another object is the sensation as you're breathing, the abdomen as it's going out. So this is a good thing to check. How many of us are breathing properly? Many of us are not. We're breathing, but we're breathing up here, which is nervous breathing. It's not energizing breathing. So if you practice breathing all the way down into the abdomen goes out and then back. Then you can concentrate on that. So I have a recommendation. If you find that you're full of thoughts, if you're very much up here as a person, the energies are up here, I recommend not concentrating on the sensation of the breath because it seems to make it worse. I recommend using the abdomen as your concentration object because it brings the energies down. So this is what I've seen over the years with people who concentrate here and they're very much blah blah blah, blah blah blah, 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 blah. It seems to make things worse. So perhaps try the abdomen. The other thing is the air comes from here, it goes in the nostrils, it goes all the way down into the abdomen, you pause, and then the air comes all the way back up and out, you pause, and then going back down. So you're being aware of the whole process. That's where you're going. So you start with the abdomen, and then you extend it to all the way out, all the way down. Does that help? No, back to the breath. Yeah, yeah. It's just focusing on that. You know, we've got the habit of chattering, and we don't realize it. There's thousands of thoughts that are just passing through the head constantly, and we don't realize. And every now and again, it's a very interesting thought. Go to the fridge, get some cheese, chutney, bread, make a sandwich. We'll be happy. Or I know there's chocolate in that cupboard. or a Coca-Cola or whatever it is, the desire object. So the desire thought comes into the head and we can just follow it. You need an iPhone. And you think, I need an iPhone. It's a bit like that. So we want to have more control. We have to teach ourselves control. And the only way to do it is by doing this. So coming back, coming back, coming back. And, your mind rebels and says, oh, enough is enough. I'm not going back there anymore. I'm going somewhere else. And back, back, So there's some sense of struggle. I think if you feel a struggle, you're doing well. No struggle probably means you're getting so involved in the thoughts, you're not aware of what's going on. So don't think it's going to feel great. People have this idea about meditation. You can just sit down, you can just meditate because you're educated New Zealanders or whatever country it is. We're educated. We can do this. Our education is for 10 directions, 5 directions, which is not meditation. Meditation is only one direction, and I've chosen what that direction is, and it's not an interesting direction. If I chose an interesting object, so whatever you're interested in, the desire object, if it's, I don't know, chocolate, so then you could spend the whole meditation on the taste and the touch and everything, but your mind would still be chattering. Your mind would still be producing many, many, many thoughts around the desire object. The breath is not a desire object. The breath is just with you all the time. So you see, the advantage of having the breath as an object is you don't need to find the object. You don't need to create the object. The object is there. So on the bus, the object's there. When you're walking, the object's there. When you're sitting, the object's there. So that's why it said the breath is a very good object. While you're breathing, you're alive. Thank goodness. Yes. 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 I think it helps because when you're in this sort of struggle, like wrestling, isn't it? You get into a wrestling with the mind or with the ego, and then it becomes a whole other story, that you're putting out a lot of energy. It becomes, yes. 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 That you noticed that you're losing the object and that you're bringing it back, so you can pat yourself on the back because you noticed you lost the object, right? Instead of berating yourself because you lost the object. It's a yes. Yes. Yeah. That's a really good point. Thank you. Like that. Yeah. Don't struggle so much. I think we often struggle with meditation and then it starts to become a big drama. I often say dharma or drama, so it sort of becomes a big drama. And we're sitting on the cushion with this whole drama going on, and you think it's worse than TV, you know. Um, huh? It can put you off doing meditation because you think life's a drama. Now I'm sitting on the cushion and it's a drama. So what's the difference? And you have to be aware of the approach, like you're saying. It's the approach, isn't it? So you can approach it with a rejoicing, or you can approach it with, this is going to be pain and suffering. And then we die. Eh? Yeah. So better, like he's saying, better to use the kindness, because we're not very kind to ourselves also. When we're changing the mind, it's to change the mind through kindness rather than through beating. Sometimes you hear that parent voice in your head, that harshness, and then it's to not go with that harshness. Anything else? Okay, part 2. This is the drama bit. We're going to do a forgiveness meditation, but you have a job. Okay, Jen? Jen is now going to give you your job. This is a secret piece of paper. Give it out, get it out. They're not all for you. You think, wow, got so much work to do. I'll need 10 pieces of paper. So it's a forgiveness meditation. And if you want to write down on the piece of paper what you need to forgive yourself for and what you need to forgive somebody else for. And then at the end of the meditation, when we've completely finished, nobody should see the piece of paper. We're going to go down and burn them. So it's finished. I want you to have the feeling that today something's finished. If there's something that you're hanging on to, that you haven't forgiven yourself for, or you haven't forgiven somebody else for, finish it today. Isn't today Halloween? Oh, is it? I'll extend Halloween. What does it say on the piece of paper? Okay. So if you have something to forgive, something you regret, self-regret and other regret. So we can have a mistake that we think we've made, a situation that we've created, something that we've done. So what do you regret that you've done? And then what do you regret that somebody else did and you haven't forgiven them for it? It should be specific. Don't write down the environment or Greta. That's when we go into the realms of them. I'm angry with them out there. It's something that you would like to remove from your mind to make you more comfortable, more happy, more peaceful, able to move on. The main thing is about this feeling of moving on, not holding on any longer. You don't forget, but you forgive, isn't it? Does anybody need a pencil or a pen? So after you've finished, fold it up, and then we'll do the forgiveness meditation. At the end, we'll do some chanting and we'll go down to the fire puja place, and then we'll burn the pieces of paper. I've done the forgiveness meditation many times, but I've never done this, the pieces of paper and the burning. So I want you to tell me later at lunch whether it works or it doesn't. If it works, we'll do it again. If it doesn't, we'll never do it ever again. How old's your daughter? She's good for 11. 11, 12. Well, I think from maybe 0 to 60, whatever age it is. Always something going on. You think once they've grown up, I'll be free. Then they have children or they get married or something. It just goes on and on. So your self-development course Just goes on and on and on. You run away. Okay, so if you've finished, if you've got one of Jen's pens, pass them that way, I think. That way or that way? All that way. See, Jen? Pass them all towards her. Then at the end, we don't have to deal with that. Are you American? Germany? Why have you got California? Fake? They was thinking he came all the way from California. Only Germany. Very disappointing. Are you living here or visiting? Oh, I see. Very nice. It's a lovely area, isn't it? Are you? Give him that t-shirt. I want that t-shirt. I've started something now. Okay, so this is a forgiveness meditation. So it's about 25 minutes, half an hour, and it goes into forgiving yourself, forgiving others. So it's from Stephen Levine. I don't know if you know Stephen Levine. He helped a lot of people who were dying in California and wrote books about dying, death, and then got very sick himself. So I really like this meditation. So if you get lost, if you find it's just a bit too much, go back to the breath, and when you can, you tune back into the meditation. So sitting comfortably, taking 3 deep breaths, breathing all the way down into the abdomen. So we begin by reflecting for a moment on what the word forgiveness might mean. What is forgiveness? And what might it be to bring forgiveness into one's life, into one's mind? Begin by slowly bringing into your mind, into your heart, the image of someone for whom you have some resentment. Gently allow a picture, a feeling, or a sense of them to gather in your heart. Gently now, invite them into your heart for this moment. Notice whatever fear or anger may arise to limit or deny their entrance, and try to soften gently all around it. We're not using force. It's just an experiment in truth which invites this person in. And silently, in your heart, say to this person, I forgive you. Open to a sense of their presence and say, I forgive you for whatever pain you've caused me in the past, intentionally or unintentionally, through your words, your thoughts, your actions. However you've caused me pain in the past, I forgive you. And feel for even a moment the spaciousness relating to that person with the possibility of forgiveness. Let go of those walls, those feelings of resentment, so that your heart may be free, so that your life may be lighter. I forgive you for whatever you may have done that caused me pain, intentionally or unintentionally, through your actions, through your words, even through your thoughts, through whatever you did, through whatever you didn't do. However the pain came to me, through you, I forgive you. It's so painful to put someone out of our heart. Now let go of that pain. Let them be touched, for this moment at least, with the warmth of your forgiveness. I forgive you. Allow that person to just be there in the stillness, in the warmth and the patience of your heart. Let them be forgiven, and let the distance between you dissolve in mercy, in love and compassion. Now, having finished so much business, dissolved in forgiveness, allow that being to go on their way, not pushing or pulling them from the heart, but simply letting them be in their own way, touched by a blessing and the possibility of your forgiveness. And now, allow that person to dissolve. You invite another person in. You gently bring into your mind, into your heart, the image or the sense of someone who has resented you. Someone whose heart is closed to you. Notice whatever limits their entrance and soften around the hardness, around the resistance, and let it float. Mercifully, you invite them into your heart and say to them, I ask your forgiveness. I ask your forgiveness. I ask to be let back into your heart. That you forgive me for whatever I may have done in the past that caused you pain, intentionally or unintentionally, through my words, my actions, even through my thoughts. However I may have hurt or injured you, whatever confusion, whatever fear of mine caused you pain, I ask your forgiveness. And you allow yourself to be touched by their forgiveness. You allow yourself to be forgiven. allow yourself back into their heart. I ask your forgiveness for however I may have caused you pain in the past through my anger, my desire, my fear, my ignorance, my doubt, my confusion. However I may have caused you pain, I ask that you let me back into your heart. I ask for your forgiveness. And you allow yourself to be forgiven. If the mind attempts to block forgiveness with merciless accusations, recrimination, judgments, just see the nature of this unkind mind. See how merciless we are with ourselves. And let this unkind mind be touched by the warmth and patience of forgiveness. Let your heart touch this other heart so that it may receive forgiveness, so that it may feel whole again. And you receive the forgiveness and you let it be. Now you gently let this person go, having even for a millisecond shared the one heart beyond the confusion of seemingly separate minds. And now you gently turn to yourself in your heart and say, I forgive you, to yourself. It's painful to put ourselves out of our hearts. Say, I forgive you, to yourself. Calling out to yourself in your heart, using your own first name. Say, I forgive you, to you. And if the mind interjects with hard thoughts, such that it's self-indulgent to forgive oneself, if it judges, if it touches you with anger and unkindness, just feel the hardness, let it soften at the edge, and let it be touched by your forgiveness. Allow yourself back into your heart, and allow you to be forgiven by you. Let that forgiveness fill your whole body. Feel the warmth and care that wishes your own well-being, seeing yourself as if you were your only child. Let yourself be bathed by this mercy and this kindness. Let yourself be loved, and see your forgiveness forever awaiting your return to your heart. Allow you to embrace yourself with forgiveness. Know that in this moment you are wholly and completely forgiven. See yourself in the infinitely compassionate eyes of the Buddha, and let yourself be loved. Let yourself be love. Now begin to share this miracle of forgiveness, of mercy and awareness. Let it extend out to all the people around you in this meditation room. Let all of them be touched by the power of forgiveness. To all those beings who have also known such pain, who so often put themselves and others out of their hearts, who so often felt isolated and lost, touch them with your forgiveness, your mercy and your loving kindness, that they too may be healed as you wish to be. and feel the heart we all share filled with forgiveness, so that we all might be whole. And let that mercy keep radiating outwards until it encompasses the whole planet. The whole planet floating in your heart, in mercy, in loving kindness, in care. May all sentient beings be free of their suffering, of their anger, their confusion, their fear, and their doubt. May all beings know the joy of their true nature, and may all beings be free from suffering. May all beings at every level of reality, on every plane of existence, may they all be free of their suffering. May they all be at peace. May we heal the world, touching it again and again with forgiveness. May we heal our hearts and the hearts of those we love by merging in forgiveness, by merging in peace. So for just a couple of minutes before we finish the meditation, sitting with that feeling of connectivity, connecting with every single sentient being in this universe, wishing them to be happy and not suffer. And then slowly bring your awareness back to the room we're sitting in, the cushion you're sitting on, and the meditation we've just been doing. In your own time, please finish your meditation. Okay, Jen, it's your time. So I ask Jen to read the dedication for us, and then we'll go and burn. Thank you. Okay, so I thought we'd chant. Do you know Om Mani Padme Hum? You know? If you don't, you're going to learn. I take this off so I'm not dragging behind me.